everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sarah Sullivan. Oh my gosh. Yay. All right. Yay. Well, hello, everyone. I am Tish Hicks. I'm the master sensei of the VO Dojo here in sunny Burbank, California. We are super excited to have you join us for a little holiday gift that we're starting off the holiday season. We are joined today by our amazing vocal sensei, Faith Rumer. Let's see, I'm going to ask everyone to mute themselves because it sounds like someone has an alien with them. There we go. Okay, good. Thank you. So Faith Rumer is our amazing vocal sensei. She's been lovely part of the Dojo team for a while. Pre-COVID, we were studio mates, and she is a part of our Mystery to Mastery program. And there's not enough hyphens to explain all that Faith does and brings to the party. And unlike other people who like the more hyphenates they have, it seems like it would dissipate. Faith is really the real deal in all of these things. So she's kind of one resource for many things. But we thought as the holiday season is beginning, and as we are all returning to what we used to do, parties, back-to-back parties are coming back. The stress of having to travel and be places, the things that we do to ourselves over holiday, like eat a lot of cookies and drink things like eggnog and have another drink, are all things that are sort of vocal health hazards that are built into the holiday. So we thought we'd just open it up and have everyone be prepared. And Faith, why don't I have you introduce yourself a little bit and we'll jump in. So Faith's going to share a little bit and then we'll jump into your questions. Jeffrey Gilbank is our amazing Dojo team member who's here on drums, and he's here to support. So if you have anything that you need, just touch base with him in the chat. But Faith, welcome.
Thank you so much, Tish. I'm so excited to be here. This is really fun. It's always great when we do this and informative and kind of clears up a lot of questions that people have.
And sometimes I think it's just really good to remember, right? I mean, we've all been driving, but it's kind of good to look over the rules of the road again, or what you're supposed to do, but like, oh, right, that's why. And here's what to watch out for too. I think especially as working pros, are like, yeah, I work my voice all the time. What is it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm noticing. I've got a birthday coming up, but I'm noticing like, a little different. I can't quite, I have to be aware of what's going on physiologically with my voice too.
Yeah, we age, we go through hormone things, we do all of that stuff affects us. It does. And so having a really good vocal routine and a vocal practice that you do can really be helpful.
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey has consolidated all the questions so far. Thank you, Jeffrey. We've got a question from Susan Shepherd Howell. Susan, you want to get your voice in the room and ask your question?
Yes.
Good morning. She already addressed it. Hi. She already addressed the food thing.
Oh, okay. The food thing. So what to and what to not. Yeah.
Yes. And could you please put up that last slide on GERD?
Oh, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Do that. Let me get to some questions, Susan, and then I'll put that up for you before we leave.
Thank you.
Great. Yep. Cool. Sarah Sullivan asked about the parameters of, but wait.
Where is Sarah?
There
I was just wondering about herbal tea, like chamomile or.
Yeah, that's such a great question.
Or throat coat.
Yeah. So what herbal tea is drying to your throat as well as regular tea. Because of the properties of herbs, they're sort of drying properties anyways. It's kind of what, people used to do, take herbs and make poultice out of them too, so that we could draw out, fluid and stuff in any kind of infections. So if you notice that when you drink tea afterwards, you could feel a little bit like this sometimes after drinking tea. So herbal teas will do that. Obviously better than having the caffeine in them. I think that you want to be careful when you're doing your voiceover work that you're not drinking those herbal teas while you're doing the voiceover work or maybe close to it. But anything with slippery elm in it would be great. Anything that has, there are a couple like throat coat usually has slippery elm in it, so it's really good. So that would counteract that dryness that you might feel from the herbal tea.
Cool. And that's kind of segues to Marjorie. Hello, Marjorie. About a specific tea, and yeah, good to see you.
Thanks, Tish. Hey, Tish. Hey, everyone. And hi, Faith. Thanks for doing this and voicing this. It's great to hear your voice too. Yeah, I had a specific question on licorice tea. To me, it's a little bit similar, like slippery elm, but I don't know if you've used that or if anybody has. And I know I saw that GERD slide, but if you have any like insta foods you'd recommend, or foods like just forget it, to avoid.
Forget about it.
Well, maybe we should bring that slide up, Faith. It seems like a lot. It seems like perhaps I was premature and not including it, but maybe we can bring it back, because, and then can you explain what GERD is? And then I guess it is kind of because we get baskets full of salamis and soft cheeses and stuff around this year.
I love that.
Right. Yeah. So that's GERD stands for gastroesophageal reflux disease. Okay.
Merry Christmas.
So gastro, stomach, esophageal, your esophagus, right? And so a lot of times if you have heartburn, you might be feeling after eating something that's the acid in your stomach coming up and kind of sitting in your lower esophagus. And so that is really uncomfortable. It's not great. But when it becomes damaging for us as voice over artists and voice users is that when it gets flushed up a little higher into your larynx, and then that's laryngeal esophageal reflux disease. And then what happens there is sometimes you won't even feel the heartburn. You just feel it in your throat. It'll feel like acidic in your throat. Sometimes you'll wake up after eating a big long meal. That's the other thing. If you're going to eat late at night or a big meal that you're not used to, which we all do during the holidays, we eat later than we normally would. We eat bigger meals. You want to make sure
twice.
Definitely going to have that second helping. You want to make sure that you prop yourself up in bed. Or see if you can not go to bed at least 2 hours before you last ate something or drank something. You don't want to drink a big glass of water right before you go to bed, because that could flush up all of that acid right up into your throat. So make sure you could prop yourself up a little bit, which is helpful.
Cool. And Terrell, you want to share your insight?
Sure. Hi. Just wondering about gargling with warm salt water. I always find that really helpful, and kind of just do it regularly, because especially in the morning, you have all the gluck. And
yeah, Terrell, I think that's a good
early morning gluck.
Yeah. Warm salt water will help to draw out the infection. I sometimes find that it kind of makes me kind of dry a little bit. So I really like my noni juice, that I use that when I'm having an infection, because it's actually, there's a property in that actually reduces the pain as well. So I've used it for canker sores. I've used it, it's some of the most amazing stuff that I could ever recommend to people who have voice as their, make a living doing voice work. But yeah, warm salt water is great. You want to also, besides the saline solution, I have a nasal it's like a syringe that does salt water through my nose. You can get that at different health food stores. They have those kinds of things. It's like a neti pot, but it's a lot easier to use because I don't have to tip my head up to do it. It's a big
That
old
plastic squeeze bottle.
Yeah,
I
that's
have one if you want me to bring it up and put it on front of the
yeah. You can find them. They have them on Amazon, which has this
the
everything.
drugstore sells them. Yeah.
Drugstores. Yeah, I got mine at a health food drugstore.
And one of the very beginning of my career, like just before my first like series regular in an animation series, I was so sick, and I went to see an ENT who must be retired or watching all our throats from above, but his name was Dr. Grosand, and he created a thing called a nasal irrigator that goes on a water pick.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a neti pot on a water pit, and you just like plug up your nose and it goes and everything goes out.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But I learned about that really early in my career. So I have one. And now if I get a little tinge of anything, just scoop it all out. So
yeah. The
yeah.
nice thing about the Xlear, because it's a saline solution, it comes in a little squeeze bottle. You can just throw it in your purse or in your pocket and take it anywhere you go, which is fantastic. And it has that glycerin and the grapefruit seed extract, both things which are great for getting rid of viral infections and bacteria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, we've come to the written questions. Come to the end of the written questions. What else is on your mind? What are you guys thinking about? What brought you here? Oh, did we not?
Yeah, we've got one from Lay about vocal warm-ups, and also from Therese W. And then Terrell, I think you had a question about gargling with salt water as well. I was kind of curious about.
She just asked about that.
I asked it, yeah.
Then
and also, I wanted to add this is that Meal Med thing. She was talking about the squeeze bottle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. But an important thing too is to use distilled water, because water out of the tap still has some bacteria. And I personally know people that ended up with brain infection from doing this every day and not using distilled water. So distilled water only for that.
Yep, good idea. Excellent idea.
And Dr. Gupta gave me that to go home after I went for my GRD exam. Everything was cool.
So there's a couple of things here I want to address. Do you have a specific vocal warm-up? I know that was from Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have a very specific vocal warm-up. It's one thing that I have included in the work with the Dojo, that I have a very specific warm-up that I've given them that I use. It's what I use with all of my voiceover artists, with my actors. If I work with entrepreneurs and CFOs of large companies, I put them through the same vocal warm-up because it's amazing. So basically, you want to make sure that you stretch. Important. That's the first thing. That you want to make sure that you have no tension in your body. Your tension is the number one enemy of your voice. So you want to stretch. You want to make sure that you're in alignment, so that your spine is nice and straight, that you're not carrying your head forward, all of that kind of stuff. Then the third thing is you want to work on opening up your breathing. So you want to use some breathing exercises, some diaphragmatic breathing exercises. Then the fourth thing is that you want to get connected to your diaphragm, to your voice. You want to make sure that the voice is connected to the breathing. So you want to have some exercises that help you to do that. The sixth thing is to open up your resonating chambers. So chest, your mouth, your head, all of that. You want to open up those with some exercises. And that sixth one is articulation exercises. So the vocal warm-up that I do is condensed down, and it's about 15 minutes. It's a full warm-up to do. You shouldn't need much longer than that to warm up with. If you have a 10 to 15 minute warm-up, that is really great.
I love how you just articulated, Faith, like where is the root where does all vocality come from? It's inherently related to physicality and flow, right? Physicality and flow of energy. So if in this vessel that our voice is like, this is like, we are our saxophone, right? We are our instrument, but it's not just this. We are our whole instrument. So that's really lovely. Like, just make how you just articulated. It's not about, we stretch to release tension to allow flow and ease. We align so we can create flow. Because if you're like that, there's we breathe because that's like the,
That's
like we
what
blow into the saxophone, right? You got a saxophone, yeah. Yeah, and then the strength and the calibration coming from the diaphragm, and then what's our embouchure, right? Or what are we doing with our mouth to make the things that can happen? That's a really cool way to break it down.
Thank you so much.
Or open it up. How about that as a positive way? Oh, to open it up,
yeah.
break it down. Yeah.
That's all of that voice, and that sixth one is speech, right? That's the articulation. Now we have to create speech. So how do you do that? You want to make sure that is working for you.
And you've made distinctions before that there's a different process for warming up a voice for singing than there is for speaking. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. You can warm up your voice for voiceover work as a singer. You can use some of the singing techniques, but often we're really creating a lot more vocal energy when we sing. We need to create a bigger voice, a higher voice, and often singers will be connected to their singing voice, but not their speaking voice, right? Does that make sense? Now I made this like my singing voice, I'm going to feel all up in here and all of this, but sometimes our vocal mechanism feels more like it's in our mouth, and then that's harder to connect with sometimes. And so we warm up too hard as a singer. And then what happens with some singers when they warm up and use their singing warm up, they'll find that their speaking voice feels not quite as clear as they would like it to be. Like when they sing, they're fine, but as soon as they speak, it feels a little bit fatigued. So I find that there are a couple of different ways to do that. Yeah. Okay. Straw phonation. Talk about straw phonation. Anybody interested in straw phonation?
Yeah, let me go grab something because Sensei Cat shared something. I'll be right back. You talk. I'll go get a visual aid.
Yeah,
I'll get a visual aid. I'll be right back.
I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, just 2 seconds.
Okay, well then one of us will stay because that's a really bad order. Okay, bye. We're gonna go get some straws. Hold on. Wait, she's got it.
Now, this is kind of a nice size straw. You don't want too big of a straw or too tiny of a straw. And there's Dr. Ingo Titsi is the person you want to look at up on the internet, on YouTube. He's the laryngologist, ENT. He's the ENT that developed this and designed this, and he's the one who you really want to watch, and he knows what he's talking about. Here's one of the things that I've discovered about this when people are doing straw phonation. They often will try to blow into the straw or speak into the straw like now I'm feeling a lot of stress on my throat when I just did that. So you don't want to blow into the straw, which is what people do wrong. A lot of people do that wrong. You want to make sure that the sound is just coming out of the straw, but you're not blowing into it. So instead of going I want to go
like a kazoo, right?
Yeah, but don't think of it like you're blowing into the straw. That's where people go wrong. They go now that just created a lot of stress against my throat. So if you're feeling any pressure here when you are using your straw phonation, you need to dial it back. You got way too much air pressure happening. The goal of this is to have very little air pressure against your vocal folds.
So the most openness for the least effort.
Yes.
How do we get it? Oh, yeah.
I fell into that same trap when I first started doing this, and I was like, why isn't it feeling as good as I want it to? And then I realized I was blowing into the straw when I was singing or doing something like that, instead of actually just letting the sound come through the straw. But I'm going to be, the air pressure is going to feel like it's in my mouth and in.
Yeah. And that's like we've been talking a lot at the dojo about how effortless equals effortless. And yeah, that's a Sensei Cat thing too. And I just wanted to show you guys this. I don't know if you can see it. It's so beautiful. This is a little blown glass straw phonation thing. It's created by a company called Sea Savers. And I'm going to touch base and see how we can get them on the dojo website so we can make them accessible. They're so pretty, but it's nice. It comes in a little case like this.
What a
and
great holiday
it's from
gift.
glass, and it's got like a little thing you hold and a little spit cleaner. It's really lovely. So yeah, so that's good. I've been doing this a lot and I just have it next to my setup. So I'm like, oh, I have a session. I'll just do the Star Spangled Banner or something like that. So
yeah, I was saying it's a great holiday gift.
Yeah, a great holiday gift.
Yeah.
Let's see, I think there was one more really interesting question. And well, there's lots of interesting questions. Let's see. Well, it was from Therese. You want to ask your question in the room, Therese?
Sure. Hi, Faith. This is so helpful. So I have vocal training as an actor. I'm wondering if there's different vocal techniques and training that you use specifically for voiceover actors.
Yes, and Tish will back me up on this. Often when we get our voice training as an actor, especially if we're in theater, we have to develop a voice that can carry through a theater, that can reach the person in the back of the room. But for a voiceover, we have to have a voice that feels supported and sounds supported, but isn't loud. So it's a little bit different technique than incorporating probably a lot of what you already know, Therese, but probably finding some ways to support a voice that would be more natural.
I always talk about calibration, right? That when you do have a trained theatrical voice, you can calibrate it up and do the Shakespeare in the Park without amplification. And then what we do when we add voiceover to your diverse portfolio of creative money-making endeavors, then we just add this like, and I can work here too. We work with a lot of opera singers and a lot of musical theater people, and the star of Phantom of the Opera did You Should Do voiceover this summer. And a lot of times what we just do is we just change the size of the venue, right? Change the size of the venue. Nope, not even 100 seat. Nope.
Yeah.
It's a living room performance. Nope. It's actually your, so you can kind of use that as a calibration. And I think it's also a little bit playing different sports too, right? If you train as a tennis pro, when you go to play badminton, there might be some concepts that are the same, but we don't need to, right, jump up and slam it. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. What else? We talked about that. What else is on people's minds? What did you come looking for? You're like, wait a minute, how many cookies can I eat? Is eggnog truly evil? Yes, the answer is yes. But else is on people's minds? Anything else? Anything else voice-wise? Yeah, and the straw thing is it's a straw phonation thing, and it's created by seasavers.co.
Oh, that sounds nice. Jeffrey, if you want to put my information in the chat, how people can get a hold of me if they want. I do have a vocal care ebook that they I will certainly be happy to send to you if you just email me. And
yeah, and faith is kind of like you want to have an ENT. It's kind of good to have just like a good vocal consultant. So if you do have a singing audition, you can, if you want to open your playground to like, oh, you sing. She's fantastic. If you are an established singer and want to work on something, Faith also does dialect coach. She works with dialects on sets with fancy people, but also with everybody. So yeah, it's kind of good to know someone like Faith if you need to work on anything having to do with this, or if something comes up. So yeah. And then in terms of Dojo, we are always here as a resource for you, wherever you are on your voiceover journey. We'd love to support you to get to the next place that you want to be. We have everything from I don't know to working pro. So if you've stumbled across this, you're like, I didn't even know it was voiceover. So I don't know to working pro. You should do voiceover intensives are coming up. We're enrolling for next year. Fight clubs, we've got 2 more fight clubs coming up. That's our working pro workouts. Kalo Bogdanov is coming up, one of the best video game directors. So what we'd love for you to do is if you're here and want to know more about the dojo, find a time to get on Jeffrey's calendar for what we call a voiceover once-over, which is basically just going like, hey, we love that you were here. Let's find out more about you. So just getting a sense of where you're at and where you'd like to be, and if there's any way that we can help you get there. And the dojo is all about doing it together. So it's always just you, but you never do it alone. Yeah. So
yeah. I think I saw one more question, and it may have been answered already. Where could people find that? Is it the Tahitian noni?
Noni juice. I should be selling it, shouldn't I? You can find it on Amazon. There are different kinds, but if you look for Tahitian noni juice, or you could, they have their own websites too, but I find it's easier.
Is Tahitian the brand or the country of origin?
It is both, actually.
Okay, so noni juice is from Tahiti. This particular brand that you're recommending is called Tahitian
noni juice.
But there might be Bulgarian noni juice as well.
I don't think there's Bulgarian. Hawaii and Tahiti are the only places.
It is noni juice, yes.
Very, very wonderful stuff. Also, if you do want to get on a short call with me, you can, email me, and then I'll give you my calendar link, and you can do that, and we can talk a little bit about, how I might be able to help you get your vocal needs met as well. And may I say, having gone through Tish's program, it's really the best. I have to always say that it's such care, such special care that you'll get, and knowledge.
Yeah. And this is what we do. So just creating opportunities for us to come together. So great to see all the faces that we know, and great to see the faces that we don't, even more impactfully. So yeah, well, thanks guys. Let's do this. What is your holiday VO wish for yourself? Like what do you want to, what's your holiday wish? What's your Christmas miracle? What's your holiday wish for yourself VO wise? Put that in the chat. We'll close with that. That's kind of a fun thing. I know. I think the other thing, one of the other things that we really focus on a lot, or is it's not focus on a lot, is actually at the heart of everything that we do in the dojo, is this idea that the internal training is equally or more important. But I just had I've been so busy and so like, with everything. And I sat down under a tree the other day on Monday. I was like, okay, here's what I would like. And I'd like, I would like to have this much money come in by the end of the year and have these many bookings come in. And gosh darn it, if a pile checks didn't come in and 2 bookings came in too. So I think don't underestimate what opening your heart to what you desire, which I think is what this season is about. It was just the skeptical, like, oh, this season. But what this season is about is opening our hearts to what our wishes and what we want, and being generous with ourselves as we are generous with each other. So, and I think this moment to take of self-care is being generous with yourself and taking care of yourself as you go and buy everyone else presents and stuff like that. Awesome. Well, I hope that as you're at all your holiday parties and gatherings, that Faith's voice will avoid the la la, and then you'll wake up the next morning like, oh, my voice is so thankful. So
I'll say limit.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We will have a recording of this. We look forward to talking with you all. Have a fantastic launch of holiday festivities. We'll be posting our Thanksgiving tradition, which is basically watching the Macy's Day Parade and doing a little empirical study of what ads are on. So we'll be posting about that, and would love to hear what your findings are. Yeah. So okay. Great stuff. 11:02. Faith, thank you so much. Jeffrey, thanks for taking care. Please be in touch. We look forward to hearing and talking with all of you. So happy
Thanks,
holidays, everybody.